Family reflections. Let us begin the journey of the family from the couple. When you love someone, you do always put yourself and your needs first. Remember, both husband and wife should equally share their love, their problems, their worries with each other, and sit together and share these things and make life easier. For love means sharing. Only then will the things be working out in a marriage, and you can discuss worries with everybody. Then you will face confusion and mess. Many people you approach may not understand you. They may not be well-wisher. They may be jealous of you, or they are bound to mislead you and ruin your marriage. God created man and gave him a companion to share, love, and form the family. It is mentioned in the Bible that man must marry and leave his parents at home and meet his wife, and they must be one. So we cannot ignore the parents. The family is your wife and children, and the rest are additional parts of the family. If you follow God's command, your marriage will be smooth and happy. But nowadays, many marriages are meeting with disaster because of interference of others that leads to separation. Listen and understand. It helps a lot. Both partners should listen and try to understand each other and make Jesus the head of the family. Marriage is a commitment for a lifetime. On the wedding day, the vows are taken by the bride and the groom in the presence of the priest and two witnesses and all the attending people. I promise to do so and so in good times and bad times. The marriage promises speak of a permanency, a commitment, a future. And marriage is a long-term commitment, cannot be disposed. There is no expiry date. It is sacred. It has aims and goals. If you are serious about marriage and life partner, do not be in a hurry just looking by the good looks or appeals, but look for the intimate reasons, your deep needs and desires, whether the person is able to listen to you, whether you all have sufficient differences in personality, but not so different that you all argue and fight with each other. It's gravely a wrong choice to deceive an innocent person and make false promises. A good marriage is when you put other person first, whatever their concerns are, but that does not mean you self-sabotage your own needs. Always remember, a good relationship is a happy relationship which keeps everyone in the relationship happy and satisfied. Next, coming to the children. The parenting. The joys of parenthood knows no bound, and the parents perhaps accept children from a point of view that it is dispensable to create a safe environment for them and a home environment for them, not to overpower them and put your own views upon them. We might have encountered many children of celebrities who, irrespective of their status, are absolutely down to earth and have nothing can deter them from following their innate qualities, and they know that they are loved by their parents. Regardless of the children willing to follow or not, however, there are some other acclaimed people who give this vocation a sense of gratitude undeterred on what people might say, considering their money, power, and envy, and yet they do not teach their children the sense of belonging and to speak their minds on whatever is good and right as per their conscience. It is nobody's concern if you are rich or poor. What is important is how you bring up your children. The celebrities have their own way of bringing up. Although I must express that a celebrity's child's life is not easy. Take for instance the case of Arnold, the governor of California, who as his role as a father and of course the Terminator imposed an iron rule, curfew of a sort to all of his 4 children to report back home within a stipulated time. Like the 14 years old should be home latest by 10 am, 16 by 11 am. The older daughter 18 can come and go as she pleases, which so far she had abused the privilege. As far as the studies and the family life are concerned, they should abide by the rules of the house. However, celebrity parents can have the privilege of dominating and being a role model parents and moving out of the normal systems. But nevertheless, the number of parents in the world who are deceived by their own methods of education based on traditional values which no celebrity can ever compare. It is said that a rose is a beautiful plant, but it needs to be nurtured. Our children are loving, careful, caregiving, and they need to be given in devotion and integrity in life. And it is said that the time early in childhood is the best opportunity to inculcate moral values. Quality time must be spent with the children. We must challenge the children rather than just fantasizing them into dreaming about their future. Family should strive to retain a zone of normalcy in the household. Traditional family should help a child measure and treasure time and not waste it. When a child is growing, parents should not be always rigid, but allow the child to have some snuggle time, to be in bed, to express emotions, to play whenever possible during the happy-go-lucky hours. The home nest should maintain rules but should not be very stringent and strict, so much so the child is not able to reason out and feels stuck. A child should be taught not to be selfish but should be educated to think of the poor. A child should be inculcated to love their pets and other animals and even nature. Discipline is a must against repulsive behaviors, and even when the children are abused or violated in any way, they should know to inform their parents. Parents will admit that it is very difficult to balance work life and family life in the equal footing. However, the good word is that a good parent can provide high quality normal life to the children. And thus, whatever the circumstances, good parenting means providing your child with the two basic needs, that is roots and wings. Is it that difficult? We shall now discuss how to handle the emotions of our children. Sometimes the children become sad because of some unhappy event that takes place in their life. It could be death, failure, or someone left them, or some separations in the family, or moving into a new house. In such cases, why are they sad? Notice their sadness and allow them to express it. Accept the sadness and do not be hesitant to seek for a counselor or some adult to help them. Children can get depressed at different stages in their lives and everyday emotions which occur within them. Sometimes the children can start crying, feel uncomfortable talking to another person. They feel isolated. They feel they do not belong to this planet. There are lots of pains building up inside them, but they cannot talk it out. They have mood swings. They feel moody. They blame others. They are always sad and crying. Grieving can be a very important part of life, but sadness is also important in order to cope with tragedy. Just because you feel sad or depressed does not mean that you are in a severe depression. Realize and understand the symptoms of your sadness, the hopelessness, the mood changes. If it is persistent, disruptive, and interferes with your daily behaviors and school work and family life, then you need to seek help. There can be something called as masked depression, when a child's depression was noticed when he acted up or is angry. When this occurs, then again the children display sadness, mood swings, and the parents are also sad. So therefore this needs to be diagnosed and treated properly at the emotional and psychological level. When we feel sad, worthless and helpless, then things do not work out in our life. We lose appetite, we feel sluggish, we are less energetic, we feel sleepy all the time. We can become antisocial, we can have body aches and pains, we can lose interest, feel bored of activities, hobbies and we enjoyed. So do you feel that way most of the time in the family, where it could be a serious need for help? A clinical depression is feeling sad and hopeless and imagining only positive events in the mind, basically getting stuck in the mind. Do you know that some people experience depression and can even believe in suicide? So people need to be helped. Chronic depression is not something that's all in the mind. It also reveals in the thoughts, in the body and in the health, and it is dangerous. It needs help. There is normal and natural part of life to have emotions and to feel sad and happy. But that does not mean that we should not fight depression naturally. But we can also seek professional help. There has to be a balance of the body and the mind. The human body is very complicated. Lots of different hormones, chemicals which can make us happy as well as sad. There are stress hormones which can cause depression. By the way people are, some people can get diabetes if there is chemical imbalance of insulin in the body. The sadness can come even from biological reactions of the body or could be external causes. We need to understand that it is normal to have mood swings, to act up, to feel extra sensitive, to suffer from depression and to have changes in the body. But depression is also an illness which needs to be treated and acknowledged. Ask the children to sit down, quieten them and spend time with them. Allow them to express their emotions and understand them. Especially in our country, we need to seek for medical help and not be embarrassed or victimized by it, because this is a serious issue in our society. Parents must understand the difference between what is normal and what is serious depression. They should seek immediate help if they are not able to handle the situation. Allow your child space and time. Be caring, understanding and listen. Help them to enjoy their pleasure and recreational activities. Maintain a proper diet, sleep cycle and physical activity. And with medication, allow them to get back to their physical, emotional and spiritual routines. It can be hard to be around someone who's always bumpy and sad. Many people react to this by staying away from them, being harsh to them, avoiding them. they get more angry. If you have a friend who acts this way and she wants to be left alone or is withdrawing from you, it's natural to leave them alone. But do not altogether isolate them. Help them to get past their feelings and allow them to reach out to someone for help. Care for the mind. For children, their brains are so small with the most powerful computer that gets better and grows more complex with time. And it is a challenging task. The brain has millions of cells and they are like tentacles of an octopus. They go deeper and deeper into the neural networks. And so these cells carry messages in and around faster than any other network of this world. It takes a lot of curiosity when the child is born. The five senses are experiencing the world, the day, night, the sun, moon, the flowers, the water, and the other beauties of nature which the child is trying to explore. 80% of these cells become lesser and lesser with time, and only 20% take up the rest of your life. A child can learn 5 different languages, but the older it becomes, the more difficult it is. So what we are doing to keep this living brain growing and super active? What are we doing for the brain? What are the 4 main things we can do for the brain? Firstly, the brain needs oxygen, nutrition, and good breathing exercises. Play games with the children. Help them to exercise and take them to open air. Eat fresh foods and vegetables and balanced diet. Avoid junk food as much as possible. Give the brain the highest grade of petrol and speed and so that it can move at a good pace. Secondly, love is what the brain needs. Like honeys need honey to survive, the brain needs limitless amount of love. They have said a baby monkey received all the love, then it grew well. And if it did not receive, it died fast. The brain had developed healthily only when it gets enough amount of love from its surroundings and from people, especially the parents. Thirdly, exercise your brain with mind sports, board games, scramble, checkers, chess, monopoly, games like Snap, Solitaire, Uno, Skibbo, Bridge, mental skill games, memory, creative thinking, speed reading, mental calculations, and computer games. Because your brain needs information to process, to put it out more and more of its tentacles and become super strong. It also needs to participate in exhibitions, museums, galleries, read new books, watch videos, watch the television. Challenge your brain into forming new connections. Fourthly, spend your time with nature and stimulate your 5 senses of hearing by listening to the birds, the sound of water and the wind, feeling the breeze and the water which you are touching, the textures of the earth, the smoothness, roughness, softness, hardness. See the breathtaking beauty of colors around you, the changing color of the sky, the mixing of the light, the shades of reflection in the sky, the mirrors or reflection in the pond and the sea. Smell the aromas and the fragrances of flowers, the freshness of nature after monsoon. Taste the many flavors around you and see how you feel when certain things agree with you and certain things don't agree with you. Instead of spending all your time indoors watching TV, you have better choices in life. Celebrate life, celebrate the gift of your brain and develop it and allow positive discipline, responsibility, cooperation, problem solving skills to help your brain develop in a better way and helping the child also become a better human being. Soul connections. Between family members, there do not only exist a physical connection, but there needs to be a soul connection because they say that this chemistry is very different and it is quite deep, soul stirring, magnetic, unexplained, and it is magical. And according to psychologists, many even question about soul connections. When we move to a new place, we immediately feel connection with certain people, but we do not feel a connection with other people. It is because something within us attracts to something in the other person. These people can only get physically attracted, get into physical relationship, but there is no emotional attachment, and eventually they wear out. So therefore, we need to not be instantly comfortable with a person and feel that we know them all. It takes a lifetime to know people. Most people believe their soulmates to be their spouses. That need not be true. A soulmate could be your best friend, a child, a co-worker. For animal lovers, even a dog can help a person connect spiritually. A soulmate connection is when two souls walk a same spiritual path, working together, helping each other achieve a higher purpose in life, a spiritual goal in life, an important lesson in life. Such connections have to be established in family if possible. This unspoken agreement and understanding between any souls is perhaps right or wrong, complete or finished, something to bond at a time of tragedy and even other reasons. It shows a stronger commitment. These relationships are solid. They are intertwined with very few people, but these feel the strongest love and suffice to go for lifetime. They give constant energy, they are never depleted. It helps to deal with the painful situations of life. For we feel loved and we do not have a need to change ourselves or change the other person. It is an enlightenment. It is not always blissful. Some things about your soulmate do not drive you crazy, but it is just momentary. Just tied after some time, again you can experience a close connection. A spiritual quality is always there in such deep relationship because there's forgiveness, there is a divine intervention. A spark of desire to come close and connect in love and not passion keeps us growing through the years. You make unspoken commitments. It doesn't need words or documents. To nurture a relation, you connect strongly, even if it means just for 10 minutes. Strong bonding, strong communication. Certain words you utter, certain gestures can keep you close in your relationships. These soul connections are very important, for they touch the heart to thick and thin. You can discuss almost anything with these people. Your wildest secrets, your fantasies, they are your bestest friend. The soul connection experiences strong, deep, soul-stirring emotions, which is centered in love and nothing more than that. Can you pull each other's leg on just about anything? They feel no jealousy, no fear, no threat in the relationship because they are at peace and they are complete. They feel at home and they are never going to part. For majority of the people in meaningless and self-serving relationship, they will wonder, what is all this soul-stirring relationship? Does it even exist in our present reality? We can ask ourselves this question. When I meet the person, do I immediately connect with the person? Are there some unusual traits that we share in common? Maybe some metaphorical speech, unusual things which we have in common. Even if you know each other for only a short time, you feel you have known each other for years. You often comment on how close you seem to have been. You feel a burning need to share promptly with that person and openly with that person. When you discuss your life, your conversation becomes deep and long and you forget about time. And even when you fight, you quickly reconcile. When one is hurt or upset, the other one can sense it immediately. You do both have feelings and you share your experiences and you do not need to put on mask or something else. Is there something in the person's eyes which you always seem familiar? Do you have that irrational fear of losing the person? Never. You both believe that you are connected by a soul connection. These are the characteristics of true soulmate. With God as the center of our lives, let us ask Him to bless our families and our spiritual life and help us to become better human beings.